think a key feature to a successful prosecution is effective support and engagement of the victims of human trafficking.
I think we need to find a way to have speedier and more proportionate prosecutions. Certainly, I understand the value of close working between specialist teams of investigators and prosecutors to bring cases to court, but we have heard over the last couple of days how we can lose victim support because of the delay it takes to build cases. So we have to find a better balance between building robust prosecutions and also offering support to victims. So I think one of the ways we could maybe look at that is by having more bespoke, tailored specialist courts that'll not only focus on ensuring that cases are brought to trial in a more efficient way, but also that victims are supported right throughout the trial process and their needs are taken fully into account.
I think the one thing that might make a difference to prosecutions is even better international cooperation than we already have. So trafficking doesn't happen within borders, it crosses borders. Criminals make sure that people cross borders as commodities. So the more that we can talk to each other, share intelligence and evidence and help victims and support them, the better.
I think it's essential that those who have a duty to investigate and those who have a duty to prosecute start to realise and respond to this like any other serious crime. But at the heart of it, we need to protect the victims and actually make sure that they are safeguarded. So we don't have to wait till the victims come forward. We need to step in and act as the authorities do on other criminality. And until we do that, prosecutions will remain low. And I think that once we start to realise and respond to this like we do about other crimes, like, for example, drug dealing, gun dealing, then we will start to see prosecutions increase. But what we need to remember that the commodity in these cases is a human life, not drugs or weapons or property. So this makes this a crime of absolute highest priority.
One thing that would make a difference for me is the abolition of detention centers. No victim should be put in a detention center. There should be safe houses that are very homely and very warm, where victims are kept, victims are empowered. When you keep victims in a home-like condition, they trust you. You're able to get information because you need information to investigate, you need information to prosecute. And so if they do not trust you and they're scared that you're going to prosecute them, because first of all, most victims do not see themselves as victims. They see themselves as criminals. Unfortunately, they are scared. If I tell them the truth, they may deport me back home. And this is because in most detention centers, victims do not have rights. Even by law, they ought to have rights, but they are never told their rights, so they don't even know they have rights. And that's why they run away from these centers, because they are scared that they will be thrown into prisons. And so it's very, very important, one, for the victims to be told their rights as soon as they are brought into the safe houses, not the detention centers, and to support them and empower them most importantly. So at the end of the day, when they leave the shelters or safe houses, they will be useful to themselves and to their countries.
Could be successful with prosecutions if we are willing to step out our offices, if we going to look outside, if we to share our experience from cases to other people, to other organizations. So I think that's most important, that we have so many good examples of trafficking cases, but we are not able to share them. And this is something that has to be improved.
Well, in today's world, we need to work together across state borders to solve some of these cases, most of them actually. We need a lot of different agencies, a lot of different non-state entities to work together. And the single thing we could do is to try to build trustful working relationships across agencies and across borders around the world. We've been successful in some other areas of crime and punishment. This is one way we also could be.
So if I would pick one, it's in the knowledge that there will be many others to complement that one. And one thing, for example, would be for prosecutors to prepare for their case, and that is in particular circumstances in the case that would weaken their case, and try to think about these in advance, because the defense will certainly do that and use all these challenges to their defense, and really prepare for possible things, statements like she really agreed, or he wanted it exactly like that, or that was all voluntary, or it's still better paid than back home, or actually he or she was free to come and go when he wanted, etc. So these are things you can think through in advance, and then be prepared to face these at court.